limiting turnover is going to be a big part of how ESSA can come away with a victory here. A nice show and go from Michaela Williams, who falls out of bounds. Helped up by our Ontario basketball photographer, Jeremy, doing some great work here. If you've seen any of the All Access stuff, he's a big part of that documentary series as well. A lot of hard work from the media team, including Ray and plenty of others doing media day here this year at the Fall Showcase. Nice finish as Bill Crothers are ahead by 4 now. Charlotte Glover working into the paint. And Bill Crothers have an injury on the floor. We'll get to that after this play. Saana Alonso can't finish the play. And grabbing her shoulder is Michaela Williams, perhaps a dislocation. The way that she's leaning over and grasping that shoulder, let's get her some medical attention. Just got to pop that back into place. Have you ever had a dislocation, Sydney?
No, thankfully I can say I have never had one. I've had teammates that have had them.
It's not great, but as soon as you get it back into place, it's one of those feelings where like it's so relieving.
Oh, okay. Isn't it like pins and needles?
It's like a lot of numbness, and then once it pops back in, it's just, everything feels good again. Maya Tagola dances down the right-hand side, but coughs it up, so another cough up for ESSA Prep, and nice hustle back from Charlotte Glover to create another turnover. Glover's in the corner. Shot's too strong. Here come Bill Crothers. Nice passing. Missed opportunity, second chance, no. Rebound corralled by Ahuma. Over the timeline. Now into the hands of Jade Dominique Pierre. Dominique Pierre, nice spin move. Ooh, hits the deck. That's going to be a tripping call in the act of shooting. Dominique Pierre to the free throw line.
I've noticed it twice on both sides now. Both coaches had to yell at their team to help one of their teammates up. In me, it's almost instinctual. You should, if your teammate's on the ground, the other team shouldn't get to her before you do.
But was it instinctual for you at this age? I'd
like to say so.
Or was that a college Sydney attribute?
You know what? Let's just say it's college Sydney, and they'll get it eventually.
Alonso with a baseline jumper is good. Navia Jazqueeth now. Had the shooter in the corner who started going baseline, and ESSA Prep's offense seems a little out of sync at the moment, and they're going to call a timeout to talk this one over.
They're really loading the right-hand side of the floor. I've seen a lot Tagola. She calls for the ball excessively, but because they bury the ball so deep on the right-hand side, they don't see her all the way on the opposite, which honestly means that let's just say if that's where the ball is naturally carrying them to go, rotate. Switch, create an opportunity for yourself. Don't just stay on the far side of the court because they're not going to throw it to you because it's going to be an interception. Do a flash cut high post, create some movement. Don't just stand there yelling for the ball if they're not going to give it to you. You got to kind of be resourceful at the end of the day if it's not there at the first look.
You talk a lot about moving without the ball and stagnant offenses, creating turnovers. So, yeah, motion is always part of what you want to do offensively, and you got to have your head on a swivel because you don't want to be moving into the path of a teammate either.
Exactly. I mean, we saw today too. There was during one of the guys' games, it was getting so aggressive that they actually boxed out their own player. But you know what? I'd rather have you box out your own teammate than don't box out anybody at all. So.
Michaela Williams still getting looked at over there on the sideline for Bill Crothers. Might be something maybe a little bit more than just a dislocated shoulder. Maybe we'll have an update for you around the halftime as we get set for more action here to continue on in quarter number 1. ESSA Prep trail by 5 with 5:08 remaining. Near side now, Gooding into the paint. has a shooter to the right side. It's Cassie Barbiera off the front of the iron. Gooding corrals the rebound. Has time and space herself. Instead, passes it up. Katarina Pappas drains the three.
Major crowd now we're seeing on the Bill Crothers side.
And the bench very loud as well. Dominique Pierre backing down her defender. Kicks it back out. Charlotte Glover off the mark. ESSA Prep with the offensive rebound. Giving it away. Foul's going to be called. And that will be on Charlotte Glover, that foul.
A lot of height on the floor right now for Bill Crothers. It seems like 3 out of the total 5 that's on the floor for them have the potential with their size to actually play more inside.
Alyssa Gooding, number 25. Right now fighting for position down low is Shelby Boma. And that stolen. Jazz Queef into the front court. 1-2 stepping, a little too strong on the lay-in. Bill Crothers now, another chance at an offensive look, and great effort from J. Dominique Pierre to get her team a second chance, that time coming up empty-handed. Bill Crothers have a 5-on-2, and the basket is good for Sienna Petznick. Tagola now from the free throw line, no. Fighting for the rebound, and it's last touched by Shelby Boma, so ESSA Prep with possession in the offensive end. As we see Sierra Sunkel come in, along with Lisro Ahuma. Baseline inbound. Diop, too strong. Again, off the hands of Boma. Inbound pass makes its way to the top of the key. Jazz Queef now from the elbow. Nice step through. Has to kick it back out. 2 seconds on the shot clock. Shot's up. Shot is missing the net by Maya Tagola. Turnover. And this ESSA Prep team really looking at multiple actions, multiple players, seeing who can be the spark here early in the first quarter.
That's honestly what we're looking for. We're waiting for somebody to really be a true playmaker.
Tagola with the turnover, the one-handed lay-in, almost the hook layup, no good, and fighting for the ball, jump ball, possession arrow favoring ESSA. Kate Lonergan getting a hand on that, knocking it out of bounds. And that ball turned over again. Bill Crothers, that's a travel from Kate Lonergan. And it seems that, like earlier, we saw early in the games, I think the players' bodies and minds moving just a little too quickly, right?
It almost seemed like they were thinking 10 steps ahead before they even had the ball in their hands.
Sunkel has to give it up and does. Ahuma, nice step around. Reverse, can't get the lefty to go. Moving ahead, Bill Crothers. Here we go. Gooding for 3, no. Jazz Queef ahead of the pack, has one to beat, takes it tough to the basket, gets the left-handed finish. And there we see the ESSA Prep girls getting up on their feet. Here on the near side, Rihanna Hart-Palarka gives it up, Alyssa Gooding. Gooding uses the screen to the top of the key, and there's a shooter wide open. Pappas misses, rebounded, Lonergan, and fouled on the way up Kate Lonergan to the free throw line.
Quick substitutions here for ESSA Prep. It seems like they only really have 3 at their disposal at the moment, so looks like they're trying to get at least fresh legs in there every couple of minutes here.
The first off the mark. It's an 8-point lead for Bill Crothers. 2:11 remaining in the first 8 minutes. The second gets the friendly bounce. Gooding checks out. Alonso back in. Charlotte Glover throws it into the path of the Bill Crothers team. Here in the corner now, Cassie Barbiera steps around the defender and knocks down the jumper. And you hear the coach, energy, energy, take care of the ball. I mean, we can hear that here in the broadcast booth. And there's going to be a foul called on Katarina Pappas. Between the legs, Jazz Queef trying to shake her defender. Kicks it out. Diop, that's too strong. Lonergan now loses the handle on the turnaround. Able to put it back on the deck, stepping through. And one opportunity for Kate Lonergan.
From what we've been seeing right now, I think we've been talking about how ESSA Prep needs somebody that can really be the playmaker. I think from the little bit that I've seen, Jazz Queef, I think, has the ability to do that. The only problem is I think just the confidence in making a solid pass to start the play is something that I'm just waiting to see. But here she goes again on a fast break.
Well, it's a 1-on-3, and she pulls up from just inside the free throw line. Doesn't get it to go. Out the other way. Pilarka fouled, and so she'll go to the free throw line. And it seems that this Bill Crothers team is just a step ahead, a move ahead so far in this game. And it looks like Michaela Williams is going to be helped out of the gym, head to the trainer's room to get some more attention on what we hope is an injury with a quick recovery, so she can get back onto this court and contribute to this Bill Crothers team. Pilarka hits. And look at this hounding defense from Bill Crothers. Jazz Queef across the timeline. 1 minute remaining in quarter number 1. A nice dribble through Charlotte Glover. That one's blocked out of bounds. Or lost out of bounds, the referee official correcting himself.
We're seeing flashes of some great playmaking ability here from ESSA Prep. The only problem is it's just the execution part. I can see them trying and attempting to set themselves up to make a good play, and more often than not, they're in the right position. It's just the execution is just what we unfortunately haven't been able to see yet.
Alonso knocks down the jumper from just inside the three-point line to extend this lead for Bill Crothers. 23-5 now, and another turnover. Pilarka. It's a 3-on-1. Bounce pass. Another pass. And that one just errant. So coming up empty on a beautiful opportunity for Bill Crothers. Those inbound passes are becoming more and more tough for ESSA Prep. Foul going to be on the floor. And that's a push going to go against Katarina Pappas.
Pretty big deficit as we see right now, just we're 30 seconds away from the end of the first quarter. In terms of what I think ESSA Prep can really do is just run a play. Just kind of feel it out. See what's going to stick, see what rotation works for you on offense, and then run that into the ground.
Well, they had a beautiful look from 3 that rimmed around and out off the hands of Maya Tagola, and now back to the free throw line. for ESSA Prep is Lisro Ahuma. Nothing but nylon on the first. The second bottoms as well. 17 seconds left in the opening frame. Picking up the pace, kicking it to the corner. Sidestep threes up by Barbiera, no good. Rebound, Jazqueef. 5 seconds left. Bill Crothers has possession on the floor. 1.2 remain as a jump ball is called in favor of Bill Crothers. Enough time for a quick catch and shoot. And looking quickly on the court right now, Alonso has made a couple. So too has Barbiera. They get it off, but it is short. And after 8 minutes, Bill Crothers lead 23-7. And it isn't for a lack of opportunities for ESSA. They are getting some decent looks, just not seeing them go down from deep and not converting at the free throw line and giving away free points. Not being able to convert on those can be a hindrance in a lot of these games.
I think the problem that we're seeing as well is they are trying their best, like you said, to set up a rotation, but they live and die by the first option. It's like if the first option isn't there, then they completely break away from the play and they try to either do a solo drive or chuck it up for a shot. Give the play time to develop. Like, trust that your coaches have the ability to draw up a full, conclusive play where if the first option isn't there, they have the second or third that they can maybe use at their disposal. But in saying that as well, Bill Crothers is doing a fantastic job on defense where they're pressuring ESSA Prep so far. Like, as soon as they get a basket, whoever makes the basket is right on the inbounder. They essentially follow the ball out of bounds. So they're not really giving them time to set up. So I think what they really need to focus on is taking it a play at a time, getting possession when they have it, and keeping the ball safe. Not really pushing it and not really getting rid of it on a whim. Take your time with it. Set up a play.
Composure.
Exactly. And see the play out. Honestly, sometimes it takes running the play to the very last option just to see it, because it's a lot different in practice than it is when you see it in a game.
Now, well, we've seen some of the second quarters with a different pace to the game, and I wonder if the frenetic and the fast pace that we saw in the first quarter from ESSA Prep will be a little bit more tame and a little bit more controlled here in the next 8 minutes. Maya Tagola works to the baseline, then back out. Needs some help. Has a teammate. Jazqueef now working on her handles. Gets by her defender to the second level. Uses the backboard, no good. Rebounded and pushing the pace. Bill Crothers, here they come. Kate Lonergan, yes. Lonergan opens the scoring here in the second quarter, adding to Bill Crothers' total. Shooter wide open in the corner. That rims off the front of the iron and then out of bounds. So they're circling the basket, just can't get one to go through quite yet. Diop to the bench, giving way to Dominique Pierre. Wisniewicz on the far side, looking for some action. Who's moving? From the free throw line, Wisniewicz drains the jumper. Jazqueef looking for the response. Hands it off. Can't save it from going out of bounds. Last touched by Bill Crothers. Blue ball on the sideline. Dominique Pierre trying to get past the first level of defense. Tough going, and the pass can't be corralled in the corner by Charlotte Glover.
There's been a lot of one-handed passes happening today, and yes, it's effective when you know you have the time and space to get it there, but what's wrong with doing just a simple two-handed pass right to the chest or a bounce pass? That way there's no doubt that it's going where you want it to go.
Wisniewicz finds a crack in the defense and gets to the rack for the 2. 22-point game in favor of Bill Crothers as we approach the 6-minute mark of the second quarter. Shelby Boma gets ready to check back in and does so. Heading to the bench, Kate Lonergan. Kickball, can't do that. And on the inbound pass, as soon as she checked in, Beaumont gets called for the foul. Jazz Queeth now trying to shake her defender. Kicks it out. 7 seconds on the shot clock. Got to get it up. Jazz Queeth fading to her right. That one off the front of the iron. And here come Bill Crothers out on the run. And slowing things down, Wisniewicz. From 3 off the iron, no. Rebound, ripped away, Ahuma. Touchdown pass, but can't complete the play is Glover. Poletti dances over the timeline. Gives it up to Wisniewicz. Wisniewicz working to the left. From the elbow, no. Rebound, corralled and pushing the pace. Jazz Queeth, and too much pressure and too much body. Nina Wisniewicz, foul called.
A bit of a break I think Glover needed. It was she had a missed opportunity down there, and then she had to run back and play hard defense, and then she had to run back again. This gives her time to catch her breath. I think she did a lot of running in that short span of time.
Ahuma and Jazz Queeth playing give and go. Now another 3 attempt from Jazz Queeth off the mark. Pushing the pace yet again. Here come Bill Crothers with numbers. That pass just a little too far ahead of Wisniewicz from the hands of Sienna Petznick. Timeout on the floor. 29-7 is the score with 5:12 remaining in the second quarter. This the final game of day number 1 of the 2024 OSBA Fall Showcase here at Bill Crothers Secondary School. JJ Evison all day with you alongside Sydney Holmes here for the entirety of the weekend. Again, if you're in the Markham area, please come and check out some of this ball in person. It's great basketball. We've got some concessions here, Shams, the snack guy. If you got Crocs, you can buy, what do they call them?
Jibbits.
Jibbit. See, was that with a Z?
Yes, correct.
Yeah,
yep, Jibbets Z at the end.
E-T-Z.
Yep. Got a bit confused there, not gonna lie. I've never
Are
really
you a
spelled
Croc person?
Jibbits.
Are you a Croc person?
Is having 6 pairs make me a Croc
Yeah,
person?
I think that makes you the Croc god.
Okay, so then probably, yeah.
They came into, some sort of popularity in the early 2000s, and then, it was a laughing, if you had them, people would laugh at you, and now it's like...
It's a hot commodity. People are jealous now if you don't wear Crocs, or if you wear Crocs and they don't have them, they're jealous.
Did you see those Croc heels?
Yes, I was gonna purchase.
And the platforms?
I was gonna purchase. Yeah, I'd like to say I'm a grown adult, and my mother vetoed that very hard, so it's all right.
Another turnover on the inbound pass from the baseline. What a shot, and maybe even a foul. Nina Wisniewicz with the corner 3. And keep an eye on her this season. She might be somebody that's going to make an all-star team and help this Bill Crothers improve on their 3-13 record from last season. Step through, Absorbing contact, Jade Dominique Pierre to the free throw line to shoot 2. And it looks like things are going from bad to worse, unfortunately, for Michaela Williams. They've brought in the stretcher. And that's not something you want to see this early on in the season. And our thoughts and prayers go out to her for a speedy recovery as another Bill Crothers player hits the deck. This time it's Shelby Boma. Maybe just a Charlie horse as she needs help up, grabbing her quad. And the official and her teammate Adriana Poletti, my apologies, helping her off the court. So the Colts will retain possession in the offensive half. 19 seconds on the shot clock, 4:36 on the game clock. That was a very quick inbound. Poletti kicks it up to the top. Gooding moving downhill, doesn't get it to go. Ahuma with the rebound. And the Colts just backing off of their press slightly. Another turnover on the offensive end for the ladies in blue. Kuzniewicz doesn't get the friendly roll there, but the rebound corralled, fought for, and now ESSA Prep have it out on the run. Nice between the legs, stolen, good active hands on defense. And way to get back for ESSA Prep, but it results in 2 points for Sienna Petznick on the second chance opportunity. Here's Dominique Pierre with the handoff. And into the paint now. Oh, losing the handle just late after cutting through 2 defenders is Ahuma. As Sierra Sunkel checks back in for ESSA Prep.
Still trying to find their form, but I love the energy that ESSA Prep is kind of showing at this moment. It's a bit more like quicker passing, quicker basketball, something we haven't seen from them earlier in this game. So it's nice to see the aggression kind of kicking into them right now.
Well, they got 3 minutes and change to really make a dent into the Colts lead. Colts happy to keep it around the perimeter, looking for the pass inside, somebody to cut. Here we go, near side, 3 is up, and 3 is good. Alyssa Gooding. Charlotte Glover kicks it out. Tagola, yes, and finally Maya Tagola sees one go through from deep. Nothing but nylon there. Gooding thought about it, instead puts it on the deck, takes it to the elbow, gets the friendly roll. And that's 5 straight points for Alyssa Gooding. Double teaming, got to be somebody open, and right now it's Tagola. Just drained one from there. Loses the dribble, works baseline. Good defense. Jump ball going to be called. Possession arrow favoring the Colts. So that zone defense now by ESSA, broken. Cassie Barbiera off the mark, rebounded and gets a second chance. Good perimeter ball movement. Physical defense here by ESSA. Barbiera gets a second chance and doesn't waste the opportunity. It was good defense, but better offense. Jazqueeth moving downhill and coughs it up. Whistle blown. Foul on the play.
I could see the play that she was attempting to make there. Jazqueeth, like, drive down, kick out. There was just no one there to kick out to, unfortunately.
Petznick loses her defender. Jumper from the baseline, no good. And here comes Jade Dominique Pierre with one to beat. Takes it up strong, and one opportunity for Jade Dominique Pierre. And if she can get herself going, I know it's a 30-point deficit, but we still have over 17 minutes of basketball to be played. I think defensively, the effort is starting to show up for ESSA. Offensively, they just have to knock down shots.
I think that's just a good testament to how they've been playing today. It's just their offense has not been able to show up for them, unfortunately.
Pushing the pace continues to be the Colts, and a second chance opportunity up and good. Katerina of Pappas. Look at this, 3, and she's not even worried about the inbounder. Here we go. Coughed up. And coughed right back up, but off of the leg of Maya Tagola. So a little bit of wishy-washy basketball here, and it looks like you're going to have to change your approach on those post-basket inbound passes. It's got to be quicker. You got to have more players back. Too much time and space. Pappas drills the 3. She wants in on that deep party.
How much of this are we going to chalk up to home court advantage?
No, none of it.
Right?
This is a good team.
I just think it's sound. Their rotation is solid. They have it down pat. Everyone knows where to be on the floor. But it's really exposing the pockets in ESSA Prep's defense right now.
Fighting for the rebound down low was Sierra Sunkel. Gets the jump ball, which is in favor of ESSA Prep. And she'll head to the bench, giving way to Lisro Ahuma. Showing off her handles. Tagola hands it off, and attacking baseline. Foul is going to be called, and Ahuma to the free throw line. So we saw we let you know Michaela Williams did head out of the gymnasium. She's going to get her arm checked out. She went out on a stretcher. There was Shelby Boma, who was on the bench as well with a right thigh contusion. She's now getting some work done on her ankle in the bleachers. So 2 daggers to the Bill Crothers Colts team here in this showcase tournament early on. We are wishing both of them a speedy and healthy recovery. We want to see them back on the court as soon as possible. I'm sure their teammates do as well. Barbiera, that one doesn't get the friendly roll and falls into the hands of Jade Dominique Pierre. And there is a foul. Foul will go against Bill Crothers. 34.9 left in the opening half. 47-14. Bill Crothers running up the score here. No mercy. Dominique Pierre again downhill. That one doesn't fall. Second chance opportunity. ESSA Prep brought back out. Ahuma attacking the paint. That time all ball from Sienna Petznick. Beautiful block at the top. 11 seconds on the shot clock. Inbound pass right to the hands of Glover. Glover finds a lane. Blocked at the top. That time it's Rihanna Hart-Palarca with the rejection. Cassie Barbiera looking for the diver. Couldn't connect with Pappas. And they turn it over. 12 seconds left. ESSA Prep going to look for the last chance of the half. Pushing the pace. Jazqueeth finds a lane layup a little too strong. And now the Colts have a chance to add to their lead. Pappas waits, turns around off the backboard and through at the buzzer. It's a 49-point half for the Bill Crothers Colts over the team ESSA Prep, who have scored 14 points in this game, just unable to get things clicking both offensively and defensively. This Bill Crothers team is just throwing too much at them in the opening 16 minutes. As we step aside for halftime, 5 minutes, and we'll be back with second half action of the final game from Friday night here at Bill Crothers Secondary School. It is the 2024 OSBA Fall Showcase Weekend. 16 more minutes of action here from Bill Crothers Secondary School on this beautiful Friday evening. J.J. Evison alongside Sydney Holmes here as Bill Crothers, the Colts, they get the first chance on offense in the second half. Beautiful ball movement. Finds Nina Wisniewicz for another three, and I said it before, I'll say it again. Keep an eye on her this season. She might be somebody to watch, showing early signs of being an all-star for this Bill Crothers squad. It'll just come down to how she performs against some of the top teams in the conference.
Talking about some good starting points for Bill Crothers, you can easily look at the score and be like, it seems like they have a sound team. But looking at it fundamentally first, their offense, the only reason a lot of their plays it's working is because ESSA Prep isn't really boxing them out. They're not going to get, against maybe a stronger team on defense, they're not going to get those easy putbacks. So that it's easy to get complacent in these situations right now, but what they have to understand is you still have to box out. You still have to fight for position, even if the other team is just going to give you the ball. Still fight with that tenacity and that aggression. But something that they are doing well on offense is their ability to swing the ball and waiting for an opportunity to really show itself. And their mid-range is the best I've seen all day from the women's teams.
So they get the ball down low, back out to Wisniewicz, finds a lane, kicking it out again. There's a double team at the top, so somebody's open. 8 seconds left on the shot clock. The ball finds its way to the hands of Sienna Petznick, and just like that, extending the lead for the Colts. Dominique Pierre directing traffic now. Turning back into the lane, uses the backboard, and that's a nice bucket. And Jade Dominique Pierre is going to need to do a whole lot more of that if this ESSA Prep team are going to look to improve on their 3-13 record from last season. A good defensive effort there. Diop with the steal. Dominique Pierre up the right-hand side. Diop now. The handoff. Glover. 7 seconds left. Works to her left. And that one swatted away by Lonergan.
Talking about some of the positives I see from ESSA Prep, their ability to still play with aggression, regardless of what the score is. They're still coming out there high aggression. They're still trying to make drives to the net, and that was a fantastic look. It was just unfortunate that was a bit too late after the buzzer there for Diop, but they're trying, and their persistence is key. It's going to happen eventually. I think they just need to give themselves a better chance setting up a play, because right now it's just a lot of solo drives that aren't really going their way, and we're seeing it being translated in the score.
That one doesn't fall for Wisniewicz. Charlotte Glover going to be called on the foul. Lonergan looking at the ref to make the call before he did. Into the paint. Off both irons and unable to fall. Petznick. Just Queeth the other way. Into the hands of Dominique Pierre. Diop now. Keeps. To Gola. And another offensive possession late in the shot clock. 5 seconds left. Somebody's got to put it up. Spinning around and getting it off, but missing the mark was Jazz Queeth.
Rotation was starting. It's just, I think, again, during stressful situations, they have a tendency, ESSA Prep, to really fall down on solo drives, the solo attention to the ball, but it has to be team-oriented for them to really chip away at this deficit.
A great look at 3 and 2. Bill Crothers' Colts teammates fighting for possession and leaking into the middle. Nice extra pass. Alyssa Gooding, bottom. And ESSA Prep want a timeout to talk it over. Couple of good defensive possessions to start the third quarter, but now the Colts back to their old ways and running up the score. "13 minutes remaining in this game, and you know what kind of message would you be expecting from the head coach of the ESSA team in order to, build on something here today?
In situations like this, it's very easy to focus on the score. I would tell them to completely forget about it, to be honest. As hard as it would be, I would tell them just to stop looking up there and really focus on running a play from start to finish. I would honestly tell them, run a play and give it to the final option. That way they can see in their minds, okay, this is how it runs. And then the second time down, go to the I would be throwing out different options for them to hit. That way, instinctually in their brain, they start to see a play full out. They start to see all the different options. Then after a while, they start to know, okay, this would work best or this would work best. But you have to sometimes see it run full out at top speed, game speed with defenders who aren't just going to, because when you play against your own team in practice, it's not going to be game
not the
intensity,
same.
right? So I think they need to just see the play throughout, let it run, and then after that, go back to the individual. But they need to start running team basketball, and that it's really because they have the aggression. It's there. They just need that piece, not only on defense, but they need to allow themselves to set up properly on offense.
Top of the key, Nina Wisniewicz hands it off. Looking for a diver. Met there. Good defense, better offense. Sienna Petznick gets 2. A push on the side sends Jade Dominique Pierre to the free throw line. As Nina Wisniewicz checks out. Coming in, Katarina Pappas. Another substitution here for the Colts. Brianna Hart-Palarka getting ready to check in. The second free throw good. And Kate Lonergan gets a breather. Petznick on the far side. Palarka gives it up. Shots up and a little too long. Diop can't corral the rebound. The Colts have it again. Palarka into the corner. Extra pass. A lot of time. No friendly bounce that time, but a second chance opportunity going unmanned, I guess. Alonzo. No one picked her up. Gola can't shake her primary defender. 9 seconds left on the shot clock. Dominique Pierre moving downhill right into contact. And it seems that every time she gets a paint touch, she's going to the free throw line. I mean, it's a sacrifice to put your body on the line like that every time, but
I think it's honestly, it's a good sign of the aggression that is present on the ESSA prep or the ESSA prep lineup. I think Dominique Pierre has been playing consistent aggressive basketball. Like you said, JJ, she's always getting to the line. We just need to translate that now into made baskets. I know what my coach always used to do is she would take the free throw percentage from every game. Whoever was below 50, she would make run suicides. Not to say that that's going to be an added bonus here for these teams, but I would say, hey, it made me not miss anything. So
a little unselfish basketball here. Extra pass, gets it right back and bottoms it. Katarina Pappas having herself a game. Right back into the paint and going right back to the free throw line, Jade Dominique Pierre. This time staying on her feet, not hitting the deck. Using the backboard for a little bit of help that time. Rebound grabbed and given away. Glover has it. Got to be careful of the timeline. Moves back to the left, spinning away. Tagola loses the handle. Finds Glover at the top. But the help defense is there. The Colts, it's a 3-on-1. Nice bounce pass and the complete play. Heads up team basketball. Sienna Petznick gets the 2 points on that drive. Nice between the legs to get away from the defender, but then loses the dribble. Tagola, left hand off the backboard, no. Rebound snagged by Petsnick. Far side, pass, pass. That's good basketball. And that time, it's Rihanna Hart-Palarka who gets the 2 points. And this Bill Crothers Colts team is really starting to find their groove.
It's also nice to see that there's very little drop off from they haven't done like a full 5-and-5 substitution,
The old
but
high school substitution.
exactly. But it's nice to see that when they do make those substitutions, there are key players who are able to make an impact on the floor when they're given that opportunity.
And again, we remind you, Michaela Williams is out. Shelby Boma is out. Now, Boma was grasping at her quad when she was leaving the floor, but her ankle has been attended to. And so ankle injuries in basketball are a tough thing to overcome.
I've never come across a player who's yet to have at least one. But the problem is that majority of us bend and never break, which you'd think is a good thing, but the healing time for that is so much longer. It's more tedious. And also, as athletes, we're more inept to kind of push ourselves to get back into the game closer than or sooner than we would like us to. So they're the hardest injuries to heal from. So I'm hoping it's nothing. It's more of like a tweak. It's nothing crazy serious, so that the healing time isn't going to be as long, so we can see them both back sooner rather than later.
And I think you have to think long term when you do get injured. You look at some of the injuries that happened this year in the WNBA, and Angel Reese had the final few games of her rookie season, taken from her because obviously you've got to protect your asset if you're the Chicago Sky. Interesting. I wanted to ask you about your perspective on the new playoff format in the WNBA and how the Liberty and the Aces are meeting in the semifinal.
It's not my favorite. I mean, you'd think that the two marquee teams would have been finals matchups, but I will
especially
say
the East and West, right?
100%. But I think the nice thing is now that the W is finally cementing itself in terms of popularity, people actually know other players' names. To me, it creates more eyes on the game. It's also an interesting concept to think that two last year's finals contenders are now meeting each other in the semis. So it's an interesting one. I didn't love it at first, but I think it creates more of a rivalry. And remember for the longest time in the NBA, we knew it was either Stephen Curry or LeBron James in the finals. I think now it's creating more of a separate storyline where we can see different teams getting the opportunity to kind of showcase themselves.
The Connecticut Sun, who had a great regular season, obviously Minnesota, and what they're doing there with their three-point shooting is phenomenal. So I think both, all four teams would make a great matchup for the finals. But we turn our attention back to this OSBA Fall Showcase. Bill Crothers at the line. It's Rihanna Hart-Palarka. Sinks the first, the second no good, an over the back foul, and that's going to go on Sienna Petsnick. Diop gets up. Looked like he could have had potentially another injury, but quick to her feet was Diop.
There's lots of basketball to be played tomorrow, so there's a lot. It's too early to be having these kinds of injuries, especially when, again, this is preseason, actually. We're not even in the regular season yet.
Another defensive inbound pass turned over, and Bill Crothers just smothering in the offensive end. Good ball movement around the perimeter has led to success for the Colts previously in this game, and they're continuing to do more of it. A nice running jumper, Cassie Barbieri with the finish. Here's Diop now. Lots of time. And now they can get set in a half-court offense. Diop had her defender closed off, but didn't get the ball down low. Jazz Queeth now into the paint. And that rolls out of bounds. A minute 26 left in the third quarter. 21-71, the Colts lead. Substitution before the ball can be inbounded. Ahuma checks back in. Glover to the bench. Turned over, Pappas on the entry pass. And that ball is now Jazz Queeths on the run. Here's Sunkel. Patience. Following through. Diop with the second chance points. Yes. Getting behind the defense, sneaking in there. Barbieri gets an easy basket. Good find. Now ESSA pushing the pace. And that's a push on Petsnick. She'll get called for the foul. Baseline out of bounds. ESSA Prep in the offensive side. And here is the 5-in, 5-out change that we were talking about. The hockey lineup change, the high school basketball change. Diop on the inbound pass. Keeps, shoots, that's short. Gooding ahead. One more pass, and that's unselfish basketball. The basket doesn't go off the hands of Sarah Hamza. Tagola gives it up to Ahuma. Now Diop on the far side, down low. Sunkel can't corral it. Here comes Nina Wisniewicz. And she travels, couldn't make her mind up. Didn't want to be selfish, had two players to her right, and instead drags the feet. Maya Tagola over the timeline, 10 seconds left in the third quarter. That's a Prep trail, 23-73. Tagola keeps. 2 seconds left, shot's got to be up. Off to the side, and after 3 quarters, it is a big gap as the Bill Crothers Colts lead ESSA Prep here in the final game from center court at the Bill Crothers Secondary School as part of the OSBA 2024 Fall Showcase. Again, we're here all weekend, here on YouTube, here in person. Lots of great vendors, lots of great energy, lots of great merch as well ahead of this next OSBA season. The finals last year were quite thrilling. We saw a finals rematch, Jay Addison and Orangeville, right? We saw Royal Crown, the back-to-back champions, come and dominate on this court as well. Justice Hazley leading that squad. Lots of great stories coming out of today's games, and we'll have plenty more tomorrow, and lots of great content being shot for the all-access new season, of course. And it's going to be quite a year to follow this OSBA, bringing in new players, new talents, new teams, and really putting a spotlight on basketball here in Canada and here in Ontario.
It's also the nice thing with tournaments like this is you can kind of say, it's not that I knew them when, but you can kind of see them before they truly have everything together, because once the regular season starts, they will eat, sleep, breathe basketball from start to finish. Like you said, the schedule is strenuous. For these athletes, they wake up, practice, go to school, after school practice. Like it's continuous. So once
from
that
6 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Exactly. So once that regular season starts, they're in full swing. So trust and believe that the teams we see now are not going to be the teams we're going to see at the end of the season. They're going to be far much better, faster, stronger, and it's nice to be able to see them here and then finally get the building blocks towards the end of the year. 8
more minutes on the clock. Dominique Pierre, hands off. Ahuma to the corner. What a whip pass. Diop now working baseline. Picks up and gets the foul called, and that will go against Sarah Hamza. So it's Diop to the free throw line. The first, nothing but nylon, tickling the twine. See, ESSA's got to win this quarter, and they get the first 2 points of the quarter. Pushing the pace. Some good ball movement around the perimeter again. A little bit of an errant charge to the basket, but second chance opportunity, but that's no good. Diop. And here it's a 1-on-3, so going to slow it down. Spin into the paint. And one opportunity for Ahuma who was a little out of control, I thought, moving down that right-hand side, but managed to make something of it.
I thought, honestly, on that when she turned on the way, as her body was opening up, I thought the ball was going to kind of leave her, but she was able to pull it back in, surprisingly, and fantastic finish.
And then ran into her teammate underneath the basket before finishing as well. Good rebound by Diop. Can't get the second chance to go, but there for another offensive rebound was Charlotte Glover.
We're seeing flashes for ESSA Prep. We've been seeing it all game. We've been seeing the rotation, the strength on defense, their offensive ability. Within those 10 seconds of those two plays, we're seeing the ability for them to play hard, aggressive basketball. So if we're seeing flashes now,
another beautiful step through.
Fantastic layup. If we're seeing flashes like this now, who's to say that give them a few more games to kind of warm up to themselves and their own team, they're going to be miles different by the end of the season.
Kilometers here in Canada, Sydney.
Did I say miles? Yeah. You know what? It's interesting. I've always lived here, so I don't know where that came from.
Yeah, they use kilometers in Australia too, where I know you want to be one day.
Yes. I have to pick the brain of. We were mentioning earlier the import that's all the way from Royal Crown now, all the way from Australia.
Nina Wisniewicz gets the steal and the run out to get the first 2 points for the Colts here in the final frame. Diop, double teamed. Shooters in the corner. Charlotte Glover, yes! And right now, ESSA Prep are outscoring the Colts 9-3 here in the fourth quarter. So something to build on there, right? Flashing in the middle. Good, strong defense there. Sunkel kept in. The play's alive. Diop waiting for some teammates. Now on the near side, Charlotte. Glover unable to get that pass under control. Drops it out of bounds. Nice display of ball handling there by Nina Wisniewicz. Hard foul. And love to see the sportswomanship, I guess. Sportsmanship is fine? Okay.
That's fine.
Of these players, you know, it doesn't matter who hits the deck, just the closest two to that player are going to help them up, right?
Well, and we saw at the beginning of the game, both coaches separately had to yell at them, so now they're just doing it instinctually. I think they're tired of being yelled at for picking up the team, but no, it's nice to see them more towards the end of the game finally kind of get into that.
Lonergan sings both, bringing the score to 5 in the quarter here for the Colts. Chaz Queeth working down the right, had the lane, but hesitated for a split second. Diop at the top, going to move downhill. And fouled, so Diop to the free throw line. Foul will go against Bill Crothers, number 5, Sana Alonso. And I think the official is signaling that that's the 5th foul on Sana Alonso, so she's out of the game.
Looked like a bit of a surprise. I didn't even think.
I think, yeah, she was surprised. And
my only thought was maybe, because I know with some coaches, they will constantly go up to the bench. Sometimes the coach will just anticipate that the scores table will tell them when there's 4 or like 3 usually, but.
Diop extends the quarter lead now to 11-5. Goes for the steal, doesn't come up with it. Lonergan to the top, and that's a backcourt violation. Actually, it's going to be an out-of-bounds violation. But had Adriana Poletti touched the ball, it would have been backcourt violation. Instead, she just lets it go out of bounds. Shots up, off the back of the iron. That one a little too strong from Glover. Good ball movement Paletti can't hit. And right back the other way to Gola. Almost shakes her defender, now keeps. Draws two around the perimeter, flashing in the middle. Ahuma fouled and passing it out to the wing instead of going to the rack. When you're that close to the hoop and you're going up, where should you be going, Sydney?
You would think that you would be going directly towards the net, or maybe into the person so you can get some contact.
Exactly.
You know, one or the other. Whatever comes first is usually my motto.
Another baseline inbound intercepted by the Colts. And here come ESSA Prep after an errant pass. It's Jazqueith to the corner. Glover. Another pass. There's a shooter open. It's Jazqueith. Works baseline. One more pass, and one pass too many. We're approaching the halfway mark of the fourth quarter. ESSA Prep have come into this quarter wanting to win it, have proven that they can stay composed. Defensive rebound by Glover, out on the run, 1-on-3, gonna have to slow down. Tagola, working back into the middle, whip pass far side, Ahuma. Finds Jazqueith, Jazqueith. To her right, now to her left. Shakes the defender. Deep three off the iron and rebounded by Pilarka. Pilarka keeping the whole way, faking, using the backboard to no avail. Ball kept alive. Jazqueith now guarded closely by Barbieri and just dribbles it out of bounds. Turnover in the offensive side. Colts now in the offensive half. Turnover. And the turnovers have been a bit of a problem for the Colts here in the fourth quarter. Following up the play, Dominique Pierre with the rebound. Kick out, shots up. Friendly roll is down. You best believe it. Maya Tagola sinks another three.
Safe to say that within these final few minutes, Prep is kind of winning the game in terms of the last few minutes, I guess.
Absolutely. They're winning the quarter 1,000%. They've only held the Colts to 5 points here through 5 minutes, and now it's 7, courtesy of Adriana Paletti.
We have 3 more women's games taking place tomorrow. We have Llewellyn Park Prep, Jay Addison kicking off at 1:30. The next women's game will be at 3, Capitol Courts Academy, King's Christian Collegiate. And then the final game tomorrow, this is the schedule for tomorrow, we have Royal Crown School versus ESSA Prep again. So we're going to see ESSA Prep again on the main court, 6 o'clock tomorrow. I hope that they're able to kind of bring this fourth quarter energy from start to finish tomorrow. That's honestly one of my goals that I have for them so far is consistency from starting to start out, because with how they're playing now, it's fantastic aggressive basketball.
Well, just look at that. Sierra Sunkel with the steal and the putback, and 15 points in the frame to Bill Crothers' 7. They've more than doubled them here in the closing quarter. Doesn't matter, I guess it does matter how you start the game, but what really matters is how you finish a game.
Mm-hmm.
And if in a game that's as got a wide of a margin as this, you got to have some positives. And this fourth quarter is bringing a lot of positives for ESSA Prep.
Absolutely.
.206 on the clock before things wrap up here from Bill Crothers Secondary School here in Markham. We've got a short ride home, sitting about half an hour, hopefully door to door, to get back downtown Toronto. Blocked at the Summit. I thought that was all ball from Lisro Ahuma. The referee saw it differently.
Going over the men's schedule for tomorrow, we start off bright and early, 9 a.m. We have Code Regional. The game was to be announced. I believe they were kind of waiting to see how today's games are shaking out, so we'll kind of let you know on that one later. Then 10:30, we have Code National taking on West United Prep. After that, we have Polaris Prep Academy taking on Bill Crothers. Then later, we don't have another men's game until 4:30. We have Royal Crown again taking on Bond Academy. First time seeing them on the main court. Finally, we will have at 7:30 William Academy taking on Code Provincial.
Probably the biggest standout from all the games today was from the Code National Team, number 8, the newcomer to the OSBA, Jacob Sannon, put on a clinic, was shooting it well from deep, getting to his spots inside the paint, active hands on defense, great decision maker with the ball in his hands. So I'm excited to see what he'll do tomorrow. And like you, I want to see this ESSA Prep team come out like they did here in the fourth quarter.
Oh.
It's an and one opportunity, Jade Dominique Pierre, and she has turned up the knob on the aggression here in this second half for sure. Five team fouls for the Colts to just 2 for ESSA Prep. Offensive rebound, second chance opportunity. Jade Dominique, nice pass. There it is. That's good basketball. Sierra Sunkel gets the 2 points on the play.
We saw flashes. We saw flashes, and now we're seeing full plays.
Wisniewicz had a great first half, a little bit quieter here in the second half. Shuffling the feet and turning the ball over, Rihanna Hart Pilarka.
If I was ESSA Prep, I would look at this footage and watch back from the third quarter on. That would be my impact onto this game, is I would see what shifted and why is it now the fourth quarter are we dominating? What are we doing differently? What's something that we could do to maybe apply from start to finish? Because the post moves that we're seeing, the driving to the net, the offensive rebounds, we haven't seen that all game.
No. They're getting to the position, and they're using their size and bodies to prevent any of the Colts from coming in and getting those rebounds. And it's an and one opportunity for Sunkel, who just finished the last pass from Jade Dominique Pierre and completes a three-point play there. So it is a 23-point quarter for ESSA Prep to just 7 points for Bill Crothers Colts. And this is how you finish a game, you know, when you're that far behind. This is a big positive they can take into the night. Feel good kind of about how they finish this game and bring that into tomorrow.
It also kind of plays into, you look at stamina for different teams. Every time I used to come across a team that had maybe 8 or 7 players on the roster, I would never think, oh, great, we can outrun them. No, because usually it means that they have the stamina to outrun everybody else because they have to, because they don't have the bench.
They do it every game.
Exactly, right? So you see with Bill Crothers, they subbed in waves of 5. That's good, but when you have teams where you're doing a sub here, a sub there, little contributions that we've seen ESSA Prep do because they only have 3 on the bench, honestly, we're seeing it kind of come to fruition here in the fourth quarter, where they now seem to have more legs and more energy than Bill Crothers does.
They're a little tired, yeah. And you see, I don't know if you can see it on the screen right now, I think at the top left side, you see another Colts player getting some work done, and that's just not something you want to see 3 players fall victim to the injury bug here in game 1 of the Fall Showcase weekend. Good active hands on defense. Ahuma knocks it loose. And here come ESSA Prep again. Tagola. The shot clock did not reset. It continued on. They're going to set it to 14 and a side out of bounds here for pass off the mark, but somehow finds hands of an ESSA Prep player. And now the Colts out on the run. Nina Wisniewicz hands it off. Poletti back to Wisniewicz. A little bit of confusion now. Wisniewicz left all alone. Doesn't get it to go. Rebound fought for. Not giving up on it was Lizro Ahuma. You gotta applaud the effort there this late in the game. Just 14 seconds left with such a wide margin, playing until the very final buzzer. That's what you want from your players.
I would also say, not that it's a major detriment to Bill Crothers, but I would look back at this fourth quarter and see where was the downfall. Why were we dominating a team from first to third, and then as soon as it hit the fourth, Were we tired? I can understand maybe injuries, it mentally can kind of mess with you a little bit, but why is there such a shift that ESSA Prep is really dominating here?
Well, I mean, to me, it looked like they're just a little bit careless with the ball. The final shot of the game from the fingertips of Maya Tagola, that doesn't fall. And Bill Crothers holds on for the win here at the 7:30 tip-off. But back to this fourth quarter, I think just a little complacency, getting too comfortable with the big lead, right? You got to pretend like there's zeros on the clock at any given moment, especially in competitive basketball. That does it from Bill Crothers Secondary School this Friday, September 27th. Again, I'm JJ Evison here all weekend with Sydney Holmes. We appreciate you tuning in and watching back. We hope you have a great night. We're back on the air tomorrow, 9 a.m. through 9 p.m. The last tip-off 7:30, and then Sunday 9 a.m. to 4:30 as it stands right now. So join us, won't you, this weekend when you have some time, and follow Ontario Scholastic Basketball on YouTube, on socials. We'll see you tomorrow.